Good morning everybody. It's Melissa from Generation Studio in Shoppe in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, coming at you on a Saturday morning here in Mechanicsburg, as I said. And this is the conclusion of this saga of the 4-drawer dresser. It's been a long time in the making. Normally, as I've said in a previous post, maybe a couple days ago, that normally redoing a dresser does not take this long, but we had a lot of pans in the fryer, doing things at the same time, and throw an illness in there, and it just takes a little bit longer. So we are at the final countdown of getting this thing staged and everything. There's just a couple more steps that we have to do to it, and actually it's just one step and then the cure process. As far as the paint goes on this, we use the Real Milk paint from the Real Milk Paint Company. The color of the dressers, and I want to just be careful not to lean too much on this, what we did was we prepped it, we cleaned it with Crud Cutter pre-paint cleaner first, and you can go back and watch all of these videos, because there's a whole series of it on just this one little dresser. But we cleaned it, we let it dry, we sanded it, then we wiped it down with denatured alcohol and steel wool, or I'm sorry, water mixture of denatured alcohol and water to clean off the rest of the dresser. On the top, we used the denatured alcohol and steel wool technique to sort of take off all the old shellac that was on the top of this piece of veneer. So it has come out beautifully. We've restained this using a Minwax in Golden Pecan. The colors we used from the Real Milk Paint Company, the main color is your Riverstone. We also accent it right here. I don't know if I'm touching where I'm supposed to, but that's the French gray, and then just the little accent around it, we used the black iron. In between coats of paint, I used a low sheen finishing cream, and that was just because I saw a little bit of bleed through, and the low sheen finishing cream, if you put that in between coats of paint, it blocks those tannins from coming through. So we did one coat of the Riverstone, and then did the low sheen finishing cream, and then put another coat of the Riverstone, and voila, no bleed through. After that was all dried and done, I distressed it a little bit, and I went ahead and put some good old brown wax on it, and that's in one of our videos. Well, I went home and slept on it, and the next day came in, and I have to tell you, I got my bag of tricks out as far as my distressing stuff, because I just felt that the top came out beautifully. Like I said, we have one more step, which I'm going to do here on live with you today, just to show you how easy this one product is to work with. But let me come around here. Hopefully I don't trip. But if I could take you down, I don't know if I can take you down to show you without wiggling you too much. Let me see. I really distressed the heck out of this thing. I came in, I mean, you can see that I went to town on it. I wanted it to look beat up, and I love it beat up. There's just some pieces that you feel like need a little character, and this was one of them. It had a, sorry, I'm trying to set you back up now. It had a little bit of detail on it, as you could see here, and but I just wanted some character. So what I did, I mean, as far as distressing, you can use a whole lot of different things. Starting out with sandpaper, I started out with my 150 and 220 sandpaper grit. I went down to an 80 sandpaper grit. I used just a scouring pad to distress it. I brought out the hardcore stuff and used a scrub bud, actually a scraper, and a wire brush, and I just hit it where I thought it needed hit, where it needed some character. And part of the reason why I was doing that is because the pecan on the top, when I saw it, it was just too bland down below, so I wanted to bring some of that dark wood color out from underneath of the Riverstone paint, just so that it would incorporate the top. So that's why it looks so banged up, and I'm happy with the way it turned out. Let me just put you back here because I'm going to sneak back around the back. Because what we're going to do today to finish it off, I don't know if you saw, I can bring these out. I kept the original hardware, but I did paint them. And what I used a lot is the Rust-Oleum. It's for metallic. This is the oil rub bronze. So I used that, and there's a picture of the color of the hardware. So they came out really, really nice. I think it sets off the piece really, really well. The pecan top, the golden pecan, was done in Minwax. It just turned out beautiful. So now what we're going to do, the only thing that's left, oh, I forgot to tell you, I'm so sorry, I get ahead of myself. After I distressed the heck out of it, what I did was I also used, the Real Milk paint has soft wax, and I used a clear, and I put that all over it first, and then I went back in it for the second time and used the good old brown wax. That way the paint wasn't grabbing a hold of the brown wax as much because it had a layer of the clear in between. So we just, like I said, I waxed it and then I buffed it. You should feel it. It just, even though it's distressed, like all over and chippy all over the place, to feel it, it is so smooth due to the wax and the buffing. So what we're doing now is using, I want to protect the top of it a little bit better, so we're going to be using Minwax, the wipe on poly, and I absolutely love it. It has to be one of my favorite products to use because it's just so easy to use. So what I like to do is put on a glove, and you'll want to get a clean, lint-free cloth. And if you guys have been following us at all, you know I like my socks. I just asked my aunt yesterday, if you guys have socks, we can always use them. Normally for your polys, you don't want to shake them because of causing bubbles. This wipe on poly by Minwax, you can definitely shake it. You want to shake it up to get it all mixed up before you use it. So if you haven't used this, give it a try. As far as it yellowing on whites, I know that's a big question that people worry about. It will yellow, but very minimally. I actually have a cabinet door out in my car. I wish I would have thought ahead of time to bring it in to show you. So if you do it on a bright white, you can see just a very slight, and when I tell you slight, it is slight, a slight tinge of yellow, and it's not even yellow. It's okay to use on light colors, but any other color, it's great. So you just saw me, I shook it up. All you do is take your cloth, put it over your hand. Again, I like socks. You just pour a bit on there, and you actually just rub it right on. I wish I had a camera person today that you could, I'll bring you up a little bit closer here, but you just pour it on and wipe it on so you don't have to worry about drips. You don't have to worry about it pooling anywhere. Make sure you go around and hit your sides. And all you want to do is make sure you get an even coat on. So go back and forth. And what I will do is I'll leave this sit on for about 2 to 3 hours. And it is very smooth to the touch, but what I'll do is I'll take about a 400 grit sandpaper and just lightly sand it so that I can put on a second coat. And would it need that? You know, I don't know. It depends whose home it goes to and what they use it for. I always like to protect the tops of these because you work so hard to get this veneer looking really nice. So you don't want it to have watermarks and things like that. So I just go over it like that. And again, make sure you go around the edges. I did hit the edges a little bit before I came on, and then it was like, oh, I wanted to film this. So there's the first coat of that, and that's all she wrote. That's all she needed. Like I said, let me get that back on there. Like I said, in about 2 to 3 hours after it's dry, I will just take 400 grit sandpaper. You can get that at Home Depot, or in the auto section, either at like Walmart or any of the Pep Boys or anything like that. Just lightly sand it, remove the dust, and then do the same thing you just saw me do and put it back over. So I'll do 2 or 3 coats. I'll probably stop at 2, but we'll check. We'll want to make sure that, you know, you can set stuff on there without marring it up any. So that's it. She is done. I'm going to grab my camera and bring you guys a little bit closer so you can see the top of this. And hopefully the lighting isn't all that horrible. I don't know if I can turn you around. I'm turning you around. Okay, very good. So this is the top. Let me come around here. And like I said, that was a really crappy looking piece of veneer prior to using the denatured alcohol technique. And there it is with the golden pine. I also, even the back of this piece, what I did was I just took some of the wax and just cleaned it up. I just used the old brown wax because it's not real heavy or anything, and I just wiped the back of it. I mean, doesn't it look pretty just the way it is? And that's just, that way you can still see the lettering and the markings on the back. Here is the front of the dresser. Sorry, I'm backing up as I can here. I'm inundated here with the dining room suit behind me, so I just ran my back into it. But that is what the dresser looks like, and I just love all this chippiness. I don't know if you can see the chippiness here, and it chipped up here, so like the brown underneath is like matching up with the top of the dresser. So I'm really pleased with the way it turned out, and what we're going to do is let that top do its thing. And turning you back around, sorry. What we're going to do is let that top go ahead and sit for 2 to 3 hours, put another coat on it, let that sit for another 2 to 3 hours, and then I'll take it back into the staging spot and get it all staged up. And what I'll do is post pictures of it all staged and looking beautiful. So thank you so much for everybody that hung around with me. We're busy. If you hear the buzzer, it's the best kept secrets tour here, so we're busy. We have extra help today, and now we're on to doing a dining room set. So thanks for following us, and we'll see you real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.